Well, good morning, everyone. This is Tech for Senior. It is August the 19th and episode 228. We have a great show for you today. Lots of interesting things. I want to thank all the presenters who spent time presenting, getting ready today. Chris and Jim, of course, are off traveling, but they do have their segment today. Looking forward to that, all about editing pictures. So that should be lots of fun. The big news, of course, this morning was, and the announcement is, of course, Google is stopping the Fitbit line. Of course, we sort of suspected that. We'll be talking where you can find more information about that. Will, of course, be this Thursday, as we are going to talk about that on our Thursday show. If you haven't popped over and watched our Thursday show, I would encourage you to do so. It's a lot of fun. It, of course, is not a Zoom meeting. We broadcast that out to StreamYard, so you have to go over to Facebook or to our YouTube channel, and you can see the live broadcast. But I encourage you to come. It's a lot of fun. We have a lot of good times on that. For those of you who subscribe to our newsletter, sponsored by the Central Florida Computer Society, sponsored by the Glendora Seniors Computer Club in California, and of course through Geeks on Tour. Thank you for your sponsorship. In our newsletter, of course, we will had the quiz this week was, of course, on Bill James's presentation last week. I'm sorry for making it so hard, but we'll make it easier this week. And question number 3 for Carl will be a dead ringer. You'll get question number 3 for sure. But I had a lot of fun making them up this week. So if you haven't subscribed to our newsletter, subscribe to it. A lot of cool stuff, and you can take the quiz and see how you do. The quiz this coming Saturday will be, of course, on my presentation today on Google Drive app. So the quiz will be around that. So pay attention if you want to get a good mark. Today on our premiere video, Bob is going to talk on Microsoft Notepad changes. Chris is going to talk about editing pictures in Google Photos, and Bill's going to talk on Microsoft's Storage Sense. So all that coming up at 1/2 And as I said earlier, well, I've said before, if you have a computer club, if you have a group of people and you're looking for topics, just look at I know Hewie did this for his Wednesday show. They took a series of our premiere videos and took the sections out and played those for their group, and it turned out pretty good. So that's what they're made for. They're made to be reused. So please take advantage of that, and it's all there for your use. So let me just take off the spotlight here. And Hewie, you're doing okay?
Doing good. Friday's my AI, Let's Talk AI
Oh, is
show.
it? Oh, okay.
And my newsletter will be out before then, but I'm not sure when. It's going to be a busy week for me. So
right.
I'm doing my AI presentation to the Columbus Computer Society this week, and then I'm working as a poll worker for we've got a primary election coming up on Tuesday.
And Bob, you're a traveling man.
I am.
Well, you were doctor's appointments last week.
Oh yeah. Well, my wife has a wax buildup on the only ear that she can hear out of. So my house has been a shouting match trying to get word to my wife anytime I want to get a hold of her.
All right. And of course, Ray. How are things going?
Good. Glad to be here. I'm starting a class at a local college today for the rest of this semester, writing personal and family histories. So I have a lot of that stuff done already, but not really organized and never quite finished. So this is going to force me to finish it.
Is Carol going to hire you if you do this course?
No, I'm going to hire her to put it into book form.
Well, very interesting. We'll see how this works out. And Bill James.
Nothing here, just a regular week. Looking forward to our Wednesday workshop with APCUG, and
we got to work on your next presentation, and I got to figure out some questions. I'm going to do this again. That was fun.
And I have to write my gadget article.
Yeah, that's true. Gadget article for tomorrow. We'll look at. Did you get that? You got that one that I sent you? Maybe you can use that one.
I'm going to work on it. Yes.
You're going to work on that one? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right, good. All right, let's get going with the show. We got a big show for you today. Bob, take it away.
Here is my security news roundup for the week ending August 16th, 2024. Microsoft warns of unpatched Office vulnerability leading to data exposure. Microsoft has disclosed an unpatched 0-day in Office that, if successfully exploited, could result in unauthorized disclosure of sensitive information to malicious actors. The vulnerability, tracked as CVE 2024-38200 with a CVSS score of 7.5, has been described as a spoofing flaw that affects the following versions of Office: Microsoft Office 2016 for 32 and 64-bit editions, Microsoft Office LTSC 2021 for both 32 and 64-bit editions, Microsoft 365 apps for Enterprise for 32 and 64-bit systems, Microsoft Office 2019 for 32 and 64-bit editions. If you're using any of these versions, update ASAP. Read more at ℙ𝕝𝕝𝕤.com. DOJ charges Nashville man for helping North Koreans get U.S. tech jobs. The U.S. Department of Justice on Thursday charged a 38-year-old individual from Nashville, Tennessee, for allegedly running a laptop farm to help get North Koreans remote jobs with American and British companies. Matthew Isaac Knott is charged with conspiracy to cause damage to protected computers, conspiracy to launder monetary instruments, conspiracy to commit wire fraud, international damage to protected computers, aggravated identity theft, and conspiracy to cause the unlawful employment of aliens. If convicted, Knott faces a maximum penalty of 20 years in prison. Read more at ℙ𝕝𝕝𝕤.com. 0.0.0.0 day 18-year-old browser vulnerability impacts Mac OS and Linux devices. 0 days impact Chrome, Chromium, Mozilla Firefox, and Apple Safari, all of which enable external websites to communicate with software that runs locally on Mac OS and Linux. It does not affect Windows devices, as Microsoft blocks the IP address at the operating system level. Particularly, Oligo Security found that public websites using domains ending in .com are able to communicate with services running on the local network and execute arbitrary code on the visitor's host by using the address 0.0.0.0, as opposed to localhost 127.0.0.1. In response to the findings, web browsers are expected to block access to that 0. address. Read more at ℙ𝕝𝕝𝕤.com. Security breach at ADT exposes customer information. TechCrunch noted that ADT has yet to confirm when the cyber attack and the resulting data breach took place, but revealed that customers' home addresses and contact information, phone numbers, and email addresses were accessed by the attackers. The only silver lining is that the home security firm seems to believe that customers' home security systems were not compromised during the breach. If you use ADT products and were wondering if you are a victim of the data breach, you can get in touch with the company via its dedicated contact number. The number is listed. Read more at androidauthority.com. TikTok is pushing old and false news as breaking alerts. The popular social media platform TikTok has reportedly been delivering outdated and factually inaccurate content to its users presented in news-like alerts, according to the Financial Times. The alerts include a warning labeled breaking about a weeks-old tsunami in Japan, posted nearly a month after the actual tsunami occurred. Other alerts pushed inaccuracies, such as LA Dodgers star Shohei Ohtani being banned from the MLB for 5 years for gambling, or Taylor Swift canceling her tour in racist Florida. Please, folks, social media is not where you get your news. At best, it's where you find rumors that need further investigation. Read more at howtogeek.com. FBI shuts down Dispossessor ransomware group's servers across US, UK, and Germany. The US Federal Bureau of Investigation on Monday announced the disruption of online infrastructure associated with a NAS-sent ransomware group called Radar Dispossessor. The effort saw the dismantling of 3 US servers, 3 United Kingdom servers, 18 German servers, 8 US-based criminal domains, and 1 German-based criminal domain. Dispossessor is said to be led by individuals who go by the online moniker Brain. Read more at thehackernews.com. US SEC sues over alleged $650 million global crypto fraud. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission on Monday sued the cryptocurrency company Novatech and its married co-founders, saying they fraudulently raised over $650 million from more than 200,000 investors worldwide, including many Haitian Americans. Novatech and co-founders Cynthia and Eddie Petian allegedly promised investors their money would be safe, with Cynthia Petian assuring they would be in profit from day one. The SEC said the Petians instead used new money mainly to repay earlier investors and pay commissions to promoters, while siphoning millions of dollars for themselves. Read more at Reuters.com. Microsoft issues patches for 90 flaws, including 10 critical 0 days. Microsoft on Tuesday shipped fixes to address a total of 90 security flaws, including 10 0 days, of which 6 have come under active exploitation in the wild. Of the 90 bugs, 9 are rated critical, 80 are rated important, and 1 is rated moderate in severity. This is also in addition to 36 vulnerabilities that the tech giant resolved in its Edge browser since last month. The Patch Tuesday's updates are notable for addressing 6 actively exploited 0 days. The update also addresses a privilege escalation flaw in the print spooler component. To stay safe, update as soon as possible. Read more at thehackernews.com. This week's must-see on my YouTube channel. Is free truly free? This time, I take a look at Facebook. Dive into the balance between connectivity and privacy in this eye-opening analysis. Is Facebook truly free, or is your data the price you pay? Watch this and the rest of the videos on this series by following the link listed. Did you know there are more possible iterations of a game of chess than atoms in the known universe? The average human body has about 3 to 4 grams of iron, which is enough to make a small nail. I hope that hammers this fact into your brain. A single bolt of lightning contains enough energy to toast 100,000 slices of bread. The only thing missing is butter. Just thought you might want to know. A person is not wise simply because one talks a lot. An old Chinese proverb. Your convictions are only as good as your follow-through. Thanks to yours truly. And that's a wrap for this week's Security News Roundup. Stay safe, stay secure, and I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye, and thanks for watching and listening.
Thank you, Bob. Job well done. Thanks so much. look forward to that every week. All right, now we have the next on our agenda today is albums and face groups by Chris Gould, and she's, of course, they're not here today, but she's prepared something for us, and I'm going to play it. So let's see what she has to say.
Hi, I'm Chris Gould with Geeks on Tour, and this is Fun with Photos. In today's Google Photos tutorial, I want to teach you a bit about face groups and albums, where they're similar, where they're different. They are a way to organize groups of photos. And I want to start with albums. So how do you make an album? Well, there's two ways. You can either start with the photos and make an album, or you can make an album and then add the photos. I like the first way. So we went scuba diving on Saturday, and I want to select a couple photos. So I'm going to select one, select two, select three, and then I click the plus. This is on the computer. I'll show you on the phone in a minute. I click the plus and say I want to make an album. And I want to make a new album. I don't want to add these to an existing album. New album, and you give it a title. And you click the check mark to be done. So I now have an album. Now, where did that album go? Well, on the web, it is under this option called Albums. So here is the Saturday Dive album that I just made. Now, on the phone, you find albums under this menu item called Collections, and there is Albums. And there is the Saturday Dive album that I just made. But I want to show you how you can create this on the phone as well. So I'm going to delete this album. Now, have I deleted the photos inside the album? No, they are stored in your main Google Photos library. Albums are just ways to view a group together, a group that you specify. So let's try that again with the phone. I am now looking at my photos, and I can select by touch and hold. And as soon as it's selected, this Add To pops up. But I want to select a couple more. There, I have 4 selected now. I tap plus and album. One other difference on the phone, as soon as I touch album, it assumes I want to make a new album. So if that's not what you meant, you needed to make sure to select an existing album. And I will type Saturday Dive and check mark. So I now have this album under Collections and Albums. There is the Saturday Dive. Now, you could also create a blank album from scratch on either the computer or the phone by tapping on the plus and album. Now I just have a blank album, and I can select photos to put in it. As I say, I prefer selecting the photos first. So what if you wanted to make an album just of one person? So if I'm making an album of Jim, I might select that picture, and then I would select that picture and that picture, and then I could add to an album and Jim. But I have thousands of pictures of Jim. This is going to take me hours and hours and hours. Don't you think that maybe Google's AI might do a better job? And that is called face groupings, or people and pets. And on the phone, you find it under Collections and People and Pets. And there is Jim. And here are hundreds, maybe thousands of pictures where Jim is in the picture. How does Google Photos do that? It can recognize faces, and then it just says in another picture, oh, this face is the same as that face. And it puts them in this view. It's just a grouping, and it's not an official album. Under Collections on the phone, Collections and People and Pets versus Collections and albums. Now on the computer, you have people and pets under Explore. And there they are. And Albums has its own menu item called Albums. If you don't see people and pets, it might be because of a setting. So if you go to your settings, the gear wheel, and group similar faces, face groups, that must be on. If you don't even have the setting, you might be in a country that doesn't support it. This isn't available in all countries. On the phone, the setting is just in a slightly different place. You tap on your profile picture in the top right, Photos, Settings, and then Preferences, and Group Similar Faces, and that must be on. I want to show you a face grouping of my dog, Odie, what you can do when there are faces that don't match. So isn't that fun? You can have pets as the face group. So here is Odie, but this picture is not Odie. Well, I can fix that. You know, Google tries its best, but it makes a lot of mistakes when it comes to this face grouping. I can select it, not open it. Don't open it. That doesn't work. You have to select it, long press, touch and hold, and then this one also is not Odie. So I've selected two. That one is not Odie, and that one is not Odie. Touch the three dot and remove photos. All that does is remove it from the face grouping. It does not delete those pictures from your library. And it tries to learn, so you need to tell it that was the wrong animal, and submit. Now that is gone from there. Now, why would you want to have a grouping of one person's face? Well, there's several reasons. Maybe it's a person who is graduating college and you want to have a slideshow of all your pictures of them. Maybe it's a memorial service and you want to have a slideshow going. Maybe you just want to give a birthday present of a photo book of all the photos you have of you and this person. That's what the face grouping is for. For my mom's memorial service, I went to her face grouping, and I have thousands. I don't want all of these playing in a slideshow. So I'm going to make my own album. An album is something you have control over. This face grouping is an automatic feature of Google Photos. So I'll pick that one and that one. And I can just go through all of these until I have the selection that I think is good enough. Tap the plus and make an album. So you get the idea. An album is something that you have control over. You can decide what to put in it. You can take photos out of it. You can also ask Google to make an album that automatically collects all of the photos of a person, and then you can remove the ones you don't want. I think it's easier to go through and select the ones you do want. Another reason to make an album of all photos of a person is if you want to give that bunch of photos to the person. I've had several mothers and grandmothers ask me, how can I give all of the photos I have of my kids to them? How do I give all of my photos of somebody to that person? The key to this technique is that both you and the person you're giving the photos to must be using Google Photos. If you are, it's incredibly easy. Let me show you how. This could be done on a mobile device, but I think it'll be easier to see on the computer, so I'm on a web browser and I go to My Google Photos. The first thing is to find the face grouping of the person you want, because Google has already done most of the work for you. So this is Alan, and I'm going to be sending all of these photos to Alan. All I have to do is click where it says Share as Album. It's creating an album for me. I'll give the album a name and then click Share up in the upper right. Notice because I'm starting with the face grouping, it's automatically adding new photos of that same face. That's cool. Now I just tell it who I want to send it to, and there's Alan right there. If the person you want isn't showing up immediately on your list, just start typing the name or email up here. Alan, and send. Now, Alan will be receiving the notice that you've sent this album of photos to him, but you can still make additions, changes, deletions. It will be dynamic. Whenever he opens it, he will see whatever you've done. So, for example, I have two of the same one. I'm going to remove this one from the album. I'm not deleting it from my library. I still have that picture, but no need to send him two. Lots of duplicates in here. So I'm just deleting a few. And now I click the three-dot menu and remove from album. And by the same token, I could add other pictures if there was pictures that didn't get included in the face grouping, or I want to send pictures of something else. What happens on Alan's end? So now I am signed into Google Photos with Alan's account. And if I look in the sharing section, I will see that album of Chris's photos of Alan. I can look at any of them I want. I can peruse the album to my heart's content, but they are not in my library until I save them. I could save just one picture. It is now copied to Alan's library. But if I am looking at the album and I click on this little cloud, Save Photos, now the entire album has been saved to Alan's library. They go in order by date taken. So if a photo was taken in 2010, it will show up down in 2010. So how is Alan going to see all the photos that I sent to him? You have to click on Explore. On a mobile, that would be Search, and then Recently Added. Now it has changed the photo order to show all the ones that were added today versus the ones that were taken today. Now it's easy to see all of the photos that were sent in that album, and Alan can make his own album. I click on one end, I shift click on the other. I have selected 52 pictures that were all added today, and I click the plus and make my own album, new album, and I will give it a name of Photos of Alan from Chris. And I have successfully now sent Alan all the pictures from my library, and he has copied them to his library.
All right. Wow, that's so cool. I'm going to try that. Hewie, do you want to see all my pictures of me?
No.
All right. Speaking of Hewie, you're up.
Yep, I'll be right there.
Murray, we'll do the questions afterwards.
And I do want to preface this with the fact if it asks for questions, it's only because it's in the recording. It's not actual. Any questions you have, please ask in the Q&A at the end of the show. And let's go.
Hello, Windows enthusiasts. Welcome to another episode of the CFCS and STUG WinSig Spotlight. Your host is Hewie Poplock. Today's topic is web search and always on top, 2 Powertoys.
And we're down to Powertoys. I've talked about Powertoys before. If you don't know what Powertoys are, they're explained in this article, which is two down from that. And it talks about all the different Powertoys that are available. Powertoys, let's see, Microsoft has been releasing more and more Powertoys for Windows 10 and 11. This open source project adds many powerful features to Windows, from a bulk file renamer to an Alt-Tab alternative that lets you search for windows from your keyboard. There's how to get Microsoft Powertoys. This article tells you how to do it. You download it from the Microsoft Store, or you can get an installer directly from GitHub, which is owned by Microsoft, by the way, and enable the features you want from within the Powertoys settings. And you can launch Powertoys from your start menu, and it will remain running in the background. Mine probably is running. I rebooted just before the show, so it may not be. So let's go take a look at Powertoys. And I have it right here. If I click it, sometimes error comes. Okay, this is Powertoys. And you've got several programs that it runs. And it's added some things this last time, and that's what the next article was about. Let's go and look at the back to the article here. And that's Powertoys adds web search and always on top. The always on top you get to by, let's see, you can, once you've got the Powertoys running, Windows key Control T. So let's say I've got, let me find something I've got running here. I've got this, let me minimize this. Oops, I didn't want to minimize it. I want to make it smaller. Make it so it's not full screen. We'll make it small. And let's say we wanted to have this on the screen all the time. But if I come over here, it's hidden. Well, what I can do, if I highlight the program, it's the one it's highlighted right now. I hit the Windows key and Control on my keyboard and the letter T. You can see that it put a little blue line around it. So even if I bring this forward and make this active, it's still covered up by this. And if I open up something else here, if I open up, let's see if I got something here that I can show. Well, here's a family picture. If I open this up, and notice that it's still in front. No matter what I do, it stays on top. And it's an on-off switch. So I come back to this and I hit Windows Control T. That little blue line goes away, and it's now, if I bring this up, and it's now covering it. There are some times where you always want a particular window on top. It always gets lost, and you're working on a few things and you want that. This is a nice tool to be able to do that. The other thing that it mentioned in the article was that you can now search. Let's see, where is it here in the article? You can now search. Another big upgrade in this Powertoys is for the Powertoys Run tool. The replacement for Windows Run dialog box now includes the ability to search the web. A lot of times to get to the run command, you would come down here and just type in run, press enter, and you get the run command, and you can type anything in that. But if you use the one that's in the Powertoys, again, let's find the Powertoys, and we use the Powertoys run, we click that, and then, let's see, it's enabled. I did this, and I got to remember how I do this. Okay, enable it. So if I hit Alt and space, there we go. And if I hit question mark, then space, and then let's put in CFCS. Let's see what we get. We're going to get CFCSs, so we get all kinds of things, but not what we're looking for, of course. But you can see that it immediately took me out to the web. So at any time, all I have to do is Alt space, and I get a box. So if I put and then we find what we're looking for. Okay, so that works. I got to remember that Alt space if the Power Tools is running, and then put a double question mark, and then a space, and then what you're looking for, and it will go out to the web and find it. Otherwise, it's just a local search. Comments, questions? Anyone using Powertoys at all? You're very quiet today.
I put a few comments on the run command in chat.
I'm running some of them, Huey. Not all of them.
They're, you know, and the idea is that they are powerful toys. If you want to play with them and try them, they're free. Doesn't cost anything to download and run the program. It's from Microsoft. You should be able to trust it. It is version 0.053, which means they aren't even up to version 1.0, and it's been around for years. But it's stuff that Microsoft employees play with and then share with us. Here we go. You're muted, Ron.
All right. Can you just unshare yourself?
Can you do it for me, please?
All right. Okay. Thank you, Huey. I've got a few questions for you, but we'll deal with those in the Q&A. Okay. Let's talk about Google Drive app. The updated Google Drive app is something you definitely should be using. The scanning feature now has an automatic mode that will capture your documents seamlessly and save them. It also converts them to a PDF format and even will do optical character recognition. If you're going to scan a document with your phone and you're not connected to the internet, there is an offline mode. This is something everyone should be using. Let me show you how easy this is. I'm Ron Brown with Tech for Senior, where we help seniors understand technology and scan their documents efficiently into Google Drive using the Google Drive app. Today, I'm going to show you 3 things. I'm going to show you how you can take and scan a document with this new app. I'm going to tell you how you can use widgets to do this more effectively, particularly for storing receipts. And then I'm going to show you how you can integrate these apps into something like Quicken and bring the PDF format into another software. Yesterday, I bought a new refrigerator. I have the receipt here, and I'm going to scan this into a PDF format because I want to store this digitally. Now, in the old days, I used to take this, walk across my office to the other side, put it in a printer. I would then wander back over here, start the software. It would scan the document. I'd then have to convert it to PDF, and then I'd have to put it somewhere to store. I haven't done that for about 5 years because I use my phone. Nobody should be doing the old slow method of using a printer. Today, I'm going to show you the new Google Drive app that has a really incredible scanner in it that will automatically save to PDF and to your Google Drive and to the directory you want. We're then going to take this document that I will scan into Google Drive as a PDF to a specific file, and then I'm going to show you how I'm going to easily and Quicken attach that PDF file to my transaction in that accounting software. So let's see how it's done. Now, the first thing I want you to do is to make sure you have the correct app. So you can go to the Play Store or you can go to the Apple Store and download the most recent version of the Google Drive app. And this is what it should look like. Download and install it. If you have a Pixel phone, it will be pre-installed and you don't need to download it. But make sure you have the updated app, which has recently been changed. Now, you'll need no other software. The Google Drive app scans your document for you. It will change it into PDF. It even will do optical character recognition. In other words, it will take an image and turn it into text. All that is built into the app. So let's see how it works. So here's the Google Drive app on my phone. I have my receipt on my desk, and I'm going to take my phone. I'm going to open the app up and I'm going to hover over the receipt and you'll see how it is going to take the picture. Now here you'll see me hovering over trying to get in on top of the scanned document, and you'll see I have it on auto capture. So you'll see a blue line come around the document, which means it is ready to scan. Now here you'll see the image is scanned, and we now can save it either as a PDF or as a JPEG. I've chosen PDF, and just below that we've chosen the location on my Google Drive. I have a file called test. So one of the excellent applications of Google Drive, of course, is to scan and save receipts. Let me show you in this example how I've made some widgets and how these widgets can make your life real simple. So what is a widget? Well, a widget is like a macro or a series of commands. You're easily able to create these widgets on your phone. Now let me show you how that happens. But before I do that, I want to show you the example I've given you here. And these are some widgets I've made up on my Google Drive. So as you see here on my phone, as I expand this out, you'll see, of course, I have the test folder that we had, but I also have a folder for Mesa house expenses, and I have a folder for medical expenses. Now, when I push those buttons, I immediately get the Google Drive to scan the image and put it right in either the medical receipts folder or the Mesa house expenses folder, and you can make widgets up for a wide variety of things. There's no limit on what you can do. So the idea would be is as you're going around and you're taking images of your receipts, you can just simply choose the widget for whatever you want the receipt to go into that directory. So it just makes it real easy. You just hit the button and it'll put it right in the correct directory for you. And that's the power of a widget. So let me show you how to make them. So we're now on my phone. We're going to go to the Google Drive app and long press the Google Drive app, and you're going to see widgets come up. We're going to click widgets, and now we're going to come down and we have two choices. We're going to choose the Drive Scan widget. When we click this, we're going to be able to create the widget, and it's going to ask us what directory we want to place the image in. And we're going to choose, of course, I come down here and you'll see I've made one up for receipts, and I'll put a folder called test in there. And when we click test, it's going to make the widget up and call it test. So the folder name is what the widget will be called. So the idea would be on your phone, you'd have a folder, and when you open that folder up, you would have a whole series of these buttons or widgets, and you could just, whatever receipt you thought it should go into, let's say an expense for the house or a medical expense, whatever folder you wanted, you just click the button. It would immediately auto scan your receipt and put it right in that folder for you on Google Drive, which of course would be available from any device. Now, suppose you're not connected to the internet, no problem. It just holds it on your phone and then it will sync it once you're back connected. So now let me show you how we can integrate this into Quicken, and let me show you how easy this is. All right, now we're in Quicken, and you'll see at the bottom on the blue line is the transaction for my new fridge. And as we move across to the right, you're going to see a little file image, and when I click that, we're going to be able to add a PDF file, which of course I stand into the test document. And so we're going to be able to add that as a file right into Quicken. Let me show you how that's done. So here we come over, and here's the file. We're going to click this, and it opens up, and you can see that we can scan a variety of things in here. And we choose this, we can actually take it from the clipboard, the scanner, or from a file on a hard drive. So we're going to bring up test, and here's the scanned image of my receipt. I just click that and say okay. It's now in there, and it actually stores it within Quicken. It's not just a link to the file, and we save it. It's that easy to attach a receipt to your transaction in Quicken. So stop using your printer as a scanner. That concept sailed away a long time ago. Use your phone for scanning. It's so easy. And with the updated Google Drive app, it's a snap, make some widgets. You can easily put your receipts into different folders, and it even integrates with other programs. It's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video as much as I had making it. Remember that like and subscribe. All right, there we go. Maybe we'll have some questions about that, but again, we'll deal with that in the Q&A. Bob, Cloud Showdown.
A closer look at Microsoft, Google, and Apple's storage solutions. Let's dive into a detailed comparison of Microsoft's OneDrive, Google Drive, and Apple iCloud, focusing on storage capacity, pricing, security features, and overall value. Microsoft OneDrive, storage plans and pricing. Free plan, 5 gigabytes of storage. Microsoft 365 Personal, $6.99 per month or $69.99 per year for 1 terabyte of storage, plus access to Office apps. Microsoft 365 Family, $9.99 per month or $99.99 per year, offering 1 terabyte per user for up to 6 users. That's a total of 6 terabytes, plus access to Office apps. OneDrive key features. Office integration. Seamless integration with Microsoft Office apps for easy document creation and editing. Version history. Access to previous versions of files for up to 30 days. File sharing. Share files and folders with customizable permissions and expiration dates. Security encryption. Files are encrypted at rest and in transit. Two-factor authentication, 2FA, available to add an extra layer of security. Personal Vault, a protected area within OneDrive with extra security measures like identity verification for access. OneDrive pros and cons. Pros: strong integration with Microsoft Office, affordable family plan, robust collaboration tools. Cons: limited free storage, potential for cluttered interface. Google Drive, storage plans and pricing. Free plan, 15 gigabytes shared across Google Drive, Gmail, and Google Photos. Google One plans, 100 gigabyte, $1.99 per month or $19.99 per year. 200 gigabyte, $2.99 per month or $29.99 per year. 2 terabyte, $9.99 per month or $99.99 per year, with family sharing options. Google Drive key features. Integration with Google Workspace. Includes Google Docs, Sheets, and Slides for document collaboration. Backup and sync. Easily backup and sync files across devices. Search and AI features. Powerful search capabilities with AI assistance to find files quickly. Security encryption. Data is encrypted in transit and at rest using 256-bit AES encryption. Two-step verification adds an extra layer of protection. Advanced data protection offers security alerts and suspicious activity detection. Google Drive pros and cons. Pros: generous free storage, strong collaboration features, robust search capabilities. Cons: storage shared across multiple services, privacy concerns due to data collection. Apple iCloud, storage plans and pricing. Free plan, 5 gigabytes of storage. iCloud Plus plans. 50 gigabytes, 99 cents per month. 200 gigabytes, $2.99 per month. 2 terabytes, $9.99 per month with family sharing options. Apple iCloud key features. Full ecosystem integration, seamless integration with Apple devices and apps like Photo, Mail, and Calendar. iCloud Drive stores documents and keeps them updated across all Apple devices. Family sharing, share storage with up to 6 family members. Security encryption, data is encrypted in transit and at rest, with end-to-end encryption for some data types, like passwords. Two-factor authentication, strong security feature available for all Apple IDs. Privacy, Apple emphasizes user privacy with limited data collection and strong security protocols. iCloud pros and cons. Pros, excellent integration with Apple devices, privacy-focused, affordable pricing. Cons, limited free storage, less appealing for non-Apple users. Cloud storage recommendations. Best for Microsoft users. Microsoft OneDrive offers excellent value for those already using Microsoft Office products, with strong collaboration tools and robust security features. The family plan is particularly cost-effective. Best for Google ecosystem. Google Drive is ideal for those deeply integrated into Google's ecosystem, offering generous free storage and powerful collaboration tools. It's great for users who prioritize seamless access to Google Workspace apps. Best for Apple users. Apple iCloud is the best choice for users within the Apple ecosystem, providing seamless integration with Apple devices and strong privacy protections. It's particularly appealing for those who prioritize privacy and use multiple Apple devices. Conclusion: all 3 services offer competitive features, but the choice depends largely on your existing ecosystem and specific needs. For those seeking the best value and integration with productivity tools, Microsoft OneDrive provides a well-rounded offering. Google Drive is a strong contender for users who want robust collaboration features and more free storage. Apple iCloud excels for those invested in Apple's ecosystem and prioritize privacy. Stay safe, stay secure, and I hope to see you start using the cloud service of your choice for the added convenience it offers to all users. I'll see you again soon.
Thank you, Bob. Excellent. Well, I'm sure there'll be lots of questions in the Q&A. Now, before we move on to Ray's session and our music outro, I just want to thank everyone who is over on our YouTube side watching the video. Thank you for coming. And don't forget, if you have to run, that we have our premiere version coming up at hour. Don't forget about our Thursday show. Also, if you want to pop over here into our meeting and participate in the Q&A, you're most welcome to do so.
Today, we're going to focus on Ronnie Milsap. To me, he's the definition of a crossover artist. Ronnie Milsap is a celebrated American country music singer and pianist whose blend of country, pop, and R&B music made him one of the most successful crossover artists of the 1970s and 80s. His life and career are marked by both personal challenges and professional triumphs, and he is widely regarded as a pioneering figure in country music. Now, Millsap was born on January 16th, 1943 in Robbinsville, North Carolina. He was born almost completely blind due to a congenital disorder, and his mother abandoned him at an early age. Millsap was raised by his grandparents until he was sent to the Governor Moorhead School for the Blind in Raleigh, North Carolina, where he developed a deep love for music. Despite his visual impairment, Millsap showed remarkable musical talent from a young age. He learned to play several instruments, including the piano, violin, and guitar. His teachers quickly recognized his gift for music and encouraged him to pursue it seriously. Now, Millsap's big break came in 1970 when he moved to Nashville, where he met and worked with producer Chips Moman, who helped him land a recording contract with RCA Records in 1973. That same year, he released a single, I Hate You, which became his first top 10 hit on the country charts. Over the next few years, he released a string of successful albums and singles, solidifying his place in the country music world. In particular, his ability to cross over into the pop charts made him a standout artist of the time. Now, throughout his career, Ronnie Millsap won numerous awards, including 6 Grammy Awards and 8 Country Music Association Awards. He was inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame in 2014. Millsap's personal life has been marked by both joy and tragedy. He was married to his wife, Joyce, from 1965 until her passing in 2021. The couple had one son, Todd Millsap, who tragically passed away in 2019. Lost in the 50s Tonight in the Still of the Night is one of Ronnie Millsap's most beloved songs. It's a medley that combines an original composition with the classic doo-wop song In the Still of the Night by the Five Satins, which was a hit in the 1950s, 1956 to be exact. Lost in the 50s Tonight was a commercial success, reaching #1 on the Billboard Hot Country Singles Chart in 1985. The song earned Ronnie Millsap 2 Grammy Awards in 1986, Best Male Country Vocal Performance and Best Country Song. So today's video clip has Millsap singing this song in 2006 as a duet with country music singer Lori Morgan. Thanks to ChatGPT providing the above commentary, which I've edited for today's selection.
Well done, Ray. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, popular choice.
That's the most famous doo-wop song of all time.
Yeah. Nice. That's
In
good.
the Still of the Night is #1.
Excellent. And for those of you who are listening and you really like Ray's music, I just want to remind everybody that Ray has a playlist, and that playlist is of course available. It's in our newsletter. It's just a link. And I listen to you all afternoon when I'm gardening. I put on Ray's playlist. It's great. And I add all the music to his playlist. So if you are in a car and you're driving around, or you're traveling, and you can just click the playlist and away we go, and all your music's there for you.
You might have to change the name to Music to Garden By.
Well, that's usually the only time I'm listening. I have the earbuds in and I'm listening away, and it's sort of fun. So anyway, that's great. Nope. That's really good. So thank you for doing that, Ray. And it always is very enjoyable. You come up with some great ideas. And also, if you have any suggestions for Ray's always open to that. Yeah, I send Ray stuff and send your favorite person into Ray and see maybe he'll do it as a section. And so that's always fun as well when you get people asking you. It's fun as well. All right, now we're back. So thanks everyone for coming. We of course will be moving into our Q&A session now for the next 20 minutes, and then we will be moving on to our premiere video at about 1:30. I see we have some questions already, a whole bunch of questions. I'm just going to get to those in a second. Before we do though, I just want is Chris cool? I thought I saw Chris and Jim log in. Are you guys here? Or if we had any questions for about your session? I don't know. Are they I can't see. Are they logged in? I thought they logged in for a short time. All right. All right, let's move on. Hewie, you are the first. You've got a question or a comment.
I have both for Ray. One was a great choice, and the Still the Night's one of my all-time favorites. But how many songs are there that incorporate another song? I don't recall that at all. Is there any that you think of out of the top of your head?
That's an excellent question, Yui, and I can't come up right now with them. It's certainly, I can give you an example. Danny and the Juniors at the Hop, and then their follow-up song was Rock and Roll Is Here to Stay, and that had the same exact melody, the same kind of beginning. There's other songs along those lines, but your question is more of where they've taken an existing song and put it into them as a medley, and that is, I think this is pretty unique.
Yep, very good, very well done. Thank you.
And Steve, go ahead.
Yeah, Huey, what version of Powertoys do you have right now?
.83.0.
Okay, yeah, that's what I've got. Is that the current one?
That's the current one. It came out in May. The one that the article that came from something about it about a year or so ago on on the WinSig, and so it was 0.553, was it, I believe, or
Yeah.
5.8. So it was an older version, but both of those are still in Powertoys. Both of them have been updated and improved.
Huey, I thought as you were doing your presentation with Powertoys, I thought for speaker notes and stuff like that, that would be cool because you could have it up in the corner. It would always be on the front, and you can always have your notes sitting there, eh? That'd be a good application
Absolutely.
for it.
Yeah, to have it run on top, absolutely.
Yeah, because the problem is if you have it there, it's always when you're flipping around these different screens, it's always it gets behind things, right?
It gets
So that'd be
buried,
cool.
yep.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
There's
Drew?
one,
Sorry.
yeah, if I can just ask one more question. There was
Sure.
one of the parts of the Powertoys, which was the mass rename. Is there any way that you could put in wild card characters? Like when you've got a list of the files in a directory and there's either dots or numbers, and the numbers change, but you want to select all the ones with the numbers in it. Is there any way of doing that in mass rename that you've
I
seen?
have not used that Powertoy.
Oh,
I have not
okay.
had a use for it, so I don't know.
All right.
It's something
Murray.
that it'd be easy to check.
Murray, go ahead. Unmute
You're
yourself.
muted.
Okay, there. When Chris's session, there is a way to send your share your Google album with people who don't have a Google account as well. They have to download it and as a zip file, and then they can put it on the computer, put it wherever they want. That's just a comment. But then I have a question about your presentation, Ron. If I saw it correctly, it differed from your previous one in that it looks like those widgets are created right within Google Drive, which if that's the case, would mean you could do that on any device. Is that correct, or did I miss something?
No, and I thought about that, and it's sort of it depends on where if you choose any place on your phone, any of the backgrounds, and you long press it.
No,
It will
but
bring up
that's for an Android.
for an Android. I'm not
forget
sure
it.
how it works on
Yeah, it doesn't work like that on.
Yeah.
And what I was going to suggest is that if anybody could do a presentation like that for the iPhone, I'd be most interested.
Yeah.
Because I can't. It's not that, at least I can't figure out how to do that, and Chris couldn't figure out how to do it either. So
Yeah, maybe widgets are a bit different on iPhones. I don't have
they're
one,
called
so
they're called shortcuts.
Shortcuts,
But
yeah.
they don't work the same way.
Right.
So yeah,
But just so I can clarify to everybody, if you touch on an Android phone, if you take your screen and anywhere along on the screen, as long as you're not on an app, and you long press it, that will bring up a widgets menu, and then you have to scroll down till you find the Google Drive widget there. If you actually go over the Google Drive app and long press the Google Drive app, then it brings up the widget for the Google Drive app Okay, so it's the same result, but two different ways of doing it.
Yeah, but the problem is that to combine them, that was what not so easy on the iPhone.
On the iPhone. The other thing to remember, and I pointed that out in the video, is that the name of the widget is based on the file name. You can't actually, you can change folder directories on phones. You can change the name, but you can't change the widget name. And the widget name is what is the folder that you're saving to in Google Drive. So when you're naming the folders in Google Drive, I would pick a name like Mesa House Expenses or whatever you want, because that's the name that's going to be on the widget. Go ahead, Drew. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just referring back to when everybody was talking about cameras and controlling. If you have a Samsung phone and watch, there is in the Samsung store a phone camera controller app for your watch.
Oh, yes.
And you can turn that on and you'll see the camera. You'll see what's in the camera, what the camera sees from that perspective. And then you can take pictures or videos.
I think most watches do that. I know that the Pixel Watch does that. There are apps that control the camera on your phone because it's linked anyway, right? So it'd be an easy thing to do. Yeah. I have a question. I have a question for Bob. Now, in Bob's talk about cloud storage, one of the concerns I've always had about Google in storing files on Google Drive is, of course, I believe that this is true, Bob, is they can search Google Drive and they actually search your files and can review those files. But I notice on the Microsoft cloud is that it's all encrypted. And is this a big difference between the two? Is the Microsoft cloud storage maybe more protected because it's all encrypted rather than Google Drive, or have I got that wrong? Can you?
Google is fully encrypted, AES 256 encryption. The only one that doesn't encrypt everything is Apple. Apple is selective in its encryption. It only encrypts those files that really mean something, like passwords.
And also,
yeah, it has quite a few things that are it considers to be very important and therefore require encryption. I mean, you know, if you have a joke someplace, who cares if it's encrypted or not? But if it's a phone number, or if it's an address, or if it's a social security number, those are, or a password, those are important things. So, and Google seems to specialize in encrypting the important rather than the mundane stuff.
So any files I have uploaded or saved on Google Drive are automatically encrypted,
yes,
and they are not visible by Google, because I thought Google reviewed all those. I thought they looked at all they could search the files on
any of them can search those files, but not by individuals.
Okay, and they can't look at them because they're encrypted, right?
Well, yes and no.
Well, that's an issue.
I happen to know, I don't know about Google, how Google operates, but I know that pCloud scans the contents of all of your files and reads the actual words inside the files.
Right.
And if they find anything that violates their terms of service, they will
exactly. That's right. But Drew, how do they do that? Because if you upload a file and the file is encrypted and it's in the cloud, then if something's encrypted, you can't look at it.
Do that instead. Well, there's a feature in pCloud that lets you back up your Google Drive, and it copied the entire contents of my Google Drive minus about a half a dozen files that it left behind because it considered them against their terms of service, in which Google did not.
So, but am I not correct that if something is encrypted, that you can't read
the files themselves aren't, the internal contents of the files are not encrypted on the server. Google and Microsoft and pCloud and everybody, they can read your files.
Right.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. So there is no difference. That's good. So this is the point I'm making. So there is no difference between Google and Microsoft. They both do the same thing. Is that correct, Drew?
You must use your own encryption software to protect your files from the hosting company.
Ah, okay. Interesting. Well, that's what I thought. That's because I thought they reviewed those files, and Microsoft
Yeah, if
doesn't.
you have to use ℙ𝕝𝕝𝕜 or 𝕿clone or some other encryption tool.
Okay. Well, thank you, Drew. That's exactly what I thought. I didn't think there was a
However,
difference
when you upload them, those files are encrypted, so outside parties cannot see your information. And that's on all of them.
Well, they're encrypted on the way up, for sure.
On the way up, but once they get there, the hosting company has the right to do with them as they please.
Right.
Okay. Good point. Thank you. Murray, go ahead.
One of the things, advantage of Google Drive is that it's better for cross-platform. If you're using Mac, Linux, and
Murray, you have something in the background that's coming through.
yeah, I know I can't help it. I'll get closer. Maybe that'll help. Anyway, the other thing is that there's two places where the stuff is completely encrypted automatically that I know of. One is ℙ𝕝𝕝.nz. It's a New Zealand company, and their stuff is completely encrypted. They can't look at them. And the other one is, it's part of Proton Mail. It's their Proton Drive.
Right.
That's another one that is completely encrypted.
Yeah.
Both of those ones really specialize on security.
Yeah.
But the Proton Drive one is just
NordLocker is completely end-to-end encrypted, and pCloud sells optional encrypted end-to-end encrypted software.
Right. Okay. But also the Proton Cloud is just a recent feature that we just covered that actually on our Thursday show that came out. Yeah.
And
Steve, go ahead. Sorry.
And Proton maxes out at 500 megabytes, so they don't really advertise themselves as a cloud provider.
No, but they've increased that size recently.
Yeah, it's 1 gig now.
Is it 1 gig now? Because it was 500 about a few weeks ago.
Yeah, but if you use it for a certain amount of time or whatever, they'll give you 1
gig.
1 gig.
1 gig, okay.
Yeah.
But they don't. You can't buy 2 or 3 or 4 from them.
Well, yeah, you can if you pay for the whatever account update or upgrade it is. Yeah, they have deals on Proton Mail all the time for Proton Drive. Yeah, that was my question, and Marie answered it, whether it was the same encryption or whether they could see it or not. And no, they can't.
Is there any interest in anybody, hands up, if there's in doing a Tech for Senior encryption, cloud encryption talk or video?
Absolutely. I'd sure appreciate that, Drew. That would be a great talk to do. I think and we would volunteer you to do it too.
There, you just talked yourself into it.
There you go. And just email me when it's ready and you'll be on the list, Drew. All right. Thanks so much. Well, listen, I want to thank it's any more questions? Any more questions or comments? Okay. Well, thank you so much. I want to thank everyone for coming today. We do appreciate the time you spend with us. I want to thank all our presenters. I want to thank Hewie. I want to thank Bob and Ray, who are presenters today. I know that everyone spends a lot of time doing this and getting those videos out. So thanks so much. And we look forward to more great presentations next week. Don't forget, in 10 minutes, we'll be having our premiere version start. And that will be, of course, Bob's going to talk on Microsoft Notepad changes. Chris is going to talk about editing photos, and Bill's going to talk about Microsoft Storage Sense. So that will all be coming up in 10 minutes. And then don't forget, this coming Thursday, you want to know all about where's Fitbit gone and why did they cancel it and kill the watch? Well, come and listen on Thursday. That's one of the things we're going to be talking about and all the tech news of the week. Thanks for coming, everyone. And we'll see you next week. And don't forget the quiz. I'll make it easier this week. Sorry, it'll all be about Google Drive, but I'll make it easier. Bye now.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.